here for game number 2 today between Tigers and Tigers. As for Clatskanie, this will be their final home game. It's their senior day here as they take the field. Offensively, it'll be Cade Warren on the mound. He's going to be throwing to the new catcher. As Cade was behind the backstop in game number 1, it'll be Jack Booth behind the plate with Dawson Evenson at first base. At second base, Sam Shockley. At third, Luke Roth. Shortstop, Andre Combs. And left field, Chase Baker. Center fielder, Foster Evenson. And right fielder, Noah Patterson. So it's going to be the same 1 through 9 for Clatskanie, but a little bit different lineup defensively, with Warren, the All-State honorable mention catcher last year, getting the start on the hill. As for some of the Tiger fans, there's a bit of recognition that it's going to be their last games, as well as we're nearing the final regular season game of the year. After this, it's all going to be playoffs. It'll be league playoffs next week, and then the week after that, it's going to be the state playoffs. On Tuesday, May 22nd, it'll be the first round of the OSAA baseball and softball state tournament. In game number 1 in the softball tournament between number 1 ranked undefeated Clatskanie and number 4 ranked Taft. Lady Tigers were able to get it to a 2-1 margin, but then Clatskanie showed their dominance, winning game 1 of the softball doubleheader by a score of 2-1. The boys, on their side of things, they won game number 1 10-2, as Taft will finish in 3rd place, barring ridiculous upsets of Willamina on the road against Warrenton, or Catlin Gable against Rainier, which it wouldn't necessarily be an upset. Rainier does have a loss to Catlin Gable earlier this year. It will be at Rainier, as Rainier is in first place, 10-3, Warrenton in second place with 10-3, and then Taft is now ranked, now 10-4. As Trenton Fisher will lead off for the Tigers with a ball. From Cade Warren on deck is Eli DeMello, who will be playing at first base today. As that pitch inside, ball 2. That's 3-0 count now as Warren misses. As there's good pitching showdown early on between the freshman Andre Combs and the junior Eli DeMello, but curveball gets in for strike 1 on the 3-0 count to Trenton. But the difference was Tiger hitters for Taft, they've seen some really good pitching. They're able to hit good pitching, and they're finally able to make their mark against the freshman Combs, as that pitch misses away for a leadoff walk for Trenton Fisher, bringing up Eli DeMello now for Taft. Eli had 3 hits in game number 1 between these two squads. Taft has won the series now. First game at Taft, 17-0. Game 2 today, 10-2. Taft, one of the highest scoring teams in the state. There's the check throw to first. It's not in time, as our 2 umpires have switched. So our plate ump is Jeff Hickman, and our field ump is Dave Crane, both of the Lower Columbia Umpires Association. That pitch outside in the turf, ball 1 for DeMello. As last year, Eli, he and Cade Warren both on the honorable mention list as catchers. Eli hasn't really played catcher this year. It's been manned almost exclusively by Caden Hyman, as that curveball misses. 2-0 count. On deck is Cody Knott. Cody's been swinging a big bat. He's got one of the team's higher slugging percentages. Coach Hilgers comes to Eli and just taps the head and wants to make sure that he's thinking here with the 2-0 count and a pitcher that so far has struggled. He's thrown 7 pitches, 6 of them have been balls. So with Trenton on first base, decent wheels on the base pass for Trenton. We'll see if Tigers elect to test the arm of Jack Booth behind the plate. Warren from the stretch. This one's popped into right center field. Noah Patterson moves over, makes the catch for out number 1, as Trenton Fisher has to hustle back to first base. So 1 down now for Cody Knott. Senior shortstop, a 4-year starter for the Taft baseball program, as he's elected to focus on studying business at Corbin College. next year, as well as being a part of the first ever wrestling program. That one's in the dirt, and this will allow Trenton to scoot down to second on a stolen base, as that one stayed in front of Jack Booth. It'll be a 1-0 count now for Cody. Now he's got a runner in scoring position with Little Fish at second. Tyee on deck. Warren from the stretch to Cody, and it finds its mark on the outside part of the plate, strike one. Cody just under 400 on the year as a hitter. He's been doing it from the 3 spot. As this one pokes back to Warren, as it rolls up like a skee ball. There's the throw to second or first in time for the second out. It gets Trenton down to third on the play. So 1-3 ground out. 2 down now for Tyee Fisher with an RBI opportunity. As Tigers were able to they scored a run in the first, and they didn't score again until the fourth, as a run was scored in every inning, but not by both teams. That pitch misses away, ball 1 to Fisher. So, Tigers done well here on the road, as they knew they had to go on the road here, the final portion of league play. Tyee fouls that one out of play into the fence. So for Taft, they've only got 2 losses over the last 4 weeks of play, called strike outside. The 1-2 count now for Tyee. They're now 9-2 in their last 11 games. As that one curveball misses outside, had some sharp action on it, but it missed its mark, and Booth, a good job to block. Now we have seen a caught stealing situation in game 1 where Graydon Kerr at third base tried to take home on a wild pitch into the cage. It's not a deep backstop here. Tyee calls for time. In fact, depth-wise, it's very close to Tuesday's opponent, Catlin Gable, and it's not deep at all. 1-2 is high. It's a 3-2 count now, full count. As they say, base hit, ball 4. On deck, Bleiz Kimbrough. He'll be the pitcher. Curveball, hit to Shockley at second. A little 3-hopper. Here's the throw to Evenson at first in time on the 4-3 ground out. So Taft, they get a walk, no hits, and they leave Trenton stranded at third. We go into the bottom of the first now. Taft versus Clatskanie, 0-0 in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here in the bottom of the first inning. As Tigers, they were able to get a base runner, unable to get Trenton from third across the plate. As I look out into right field over towards the softball field, can't tell if the Lady Tigers scored a run or if it's a 0-0 game. Looks like they are flashing the board out there. Perhaps they're in action. So, in our game, of course, that is a number 1 versus number 4 showdown in that softball game. We will cover Lady Tigers state playoffs and any league playoff games that they're in. As The one problem, though, is that the OSAA has baseball and softball playoffs on the same days. We'll see how the league playoffs are scheduled. We'll keep you informed of that as Bleiz Kimbrough against Andre Combs, the lefty, against the righty. That's him looking at strike one. Bleiz kind of made note. It seems like he does a good job throwing in the heat. As that one misses high, 1-1 count. Had a good game in the heat in limited action against Catlin Gable as the Tigers kept their pitch counts low in game on the game on Tuesday. Andre Combs swings through that one. A 1-2 count now for Andre. These Tigers, it's been a challenge for them. They don't have the same upper level of pitching they did last year with Jack Stemple, Caleb King. This one's off the body of Andre Combs. Cody Knott is able to get the throw off. This should be that should be Andre Combs. It's an interesting play. It hit him at the plate. And so I thought that because he was in the box, that might have been a situation where they call it dead. Because if you say he's outside the box, then you've been hit by a batted ball in play, and then you're out on the throw. Eli came off, and then it looks like Andre Combs right now is actually, he is injured along the first base side, as that's kind of a no-sight zone for me right now, as we're here behind the cage, and Combs never made it back to first, and it's because he's sitting in foul territory along the right field side. And I believe he was considered safe on the play, as we are. We're seeing, I believe that is Jordan Ward, who would then come out. And Combs at shortstop is in the leadoff man. That's a very big piece of the team, as you might be hearing some of the Tiger fans combined cheering the young man on. A very talented player, just a freshman. And for Coach Tompkins, that's kind of been a theme for his squad and for these boys, with one of those players, James Hellman, who was injured during fall and missed their big football season, missed basketball and their state playoff run to Coos Bay, and he was a third-team All-State selection as a sophomore, as an infielder last year, and that's a big play, so it'll go down as an infield single for Andre Combs, who now is replaced by Jordan Ward. We'll see how that plays out defensively. So Jack Booth now at the plate, and the catcher takes the ball. A bit of wind taken out of the sails for everyone there after the injury. Fortunately, it looks like Andre's okay. Not sure. Like lower body injury. That pitch misses high, ball 2. So in the softball game, I can see 2 for Clatskanie for sure. I think it might be 2-1 or 2-0. Booth pops this one up out of play behind the backstop. So 2-1 count now for the catcher. On deck is the third baseman, Luke Roth. Roth displayed some leather at third base in game number 1. Also had a single to left field. That's where he took everything. And gets him looking on the outside part of the plate. Strike 2 on the fastball for the senior Bleiz Kimbrough. Second batter here, bottom of the first inning, 0-0 game. The leadoff man, Andre Combs, getting on, then replaced by Jordan Ward. This one hit up the middle. Bleiz, he'll get it, and he'll throw back to first. And they are going to get the double play as Jordan Ward, you saw it right there, he might have interfered perhaps with his own teammate Jack Booth a little bit. But that'll be a 1-4-3 double play as Bleiz got that one quickly. And he threw it to the bag. Jordan got there in time to make the catch, and then the relay throw to Eli DeMello at first base for the second out. And 2 down now for Luke Roth, who fouls the first one back into the cage. So Clatskanie got the first hit of the game. The Tigers turned the double play. And turned one in game number 1 as well. It was a 5-4-3 and a breaking pitch breaks in for a strike outside part of the plate, gets looped off looking. 0-2. Man looking to protect against the senior. Bleiz gets him swinging outside for first strikeout of the game. 1-2-3 inning for Clatskanie as Taft sends them up in the order that they came. As no runs, no hits, no errors, we'll go to the top of the second here in 60 on the Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back here on AM 1400 KDCH as we go into the top of the second inning with Taft at Clatskanie High School. Taft has already won the series on the year, 2 games out of the 3 in game number 3 here. Of course, they want to win all 3 of them. Taft comes in ranked number 9 in the state as they yet to lose to a team ranked below them. They haven't lost to any team that isn't ranked in the top 10. Bleiz Kimbrough, first pitch swinging. Can this get through the gap? No, it's going to go off the body of Dawson Evenson as he tries to get to it in time. Infield single is what I'll call that for Bleiz Kimbrough. And the pitcher will get a courtesy runner after that one. As that would have been a tough play. Graydon Kerr's the one that's going to come out. Interesting choice for Coach Hilgers, as Graydon might have had some bit of base running miscues, but he's going to get the call over Jose Flores, as Jose was the individual in game number 1 who came on twice as a pinch runner. As this one behind Jack Booth, and that allows Graydon to easily get to second base on the passed ball. So 1-0 count, Fico Ramos at the plate. Fico had a strong first game. Had 1 error in the field on a hard hit grounder. It's one of the things about getting used to playing on the grass infield is how you play grounders sometimes. That's a curveball. It stays back, fouls it out of play as that one's off the football stadium. Tyee's mom walking over there. Anytime the foul ball is hit over there by that snack shack, people kind of lose sight with the food. This one hit into the gap. Andre Combs, who returns to action, is able to reach to it in the gap, but he's unable to make the throw. And so Fico Ramos, back-to-back infield singles now for Taft, brings up Darius Smith. And 0 had a great catch in the outfield against Cade Warren, who he was finding some space in left center field. He found a double in his first at-bat, but his second at-bat ended up in Darius's glove. This time, though, Darius trying to do it with the bat. Noah Patterson is in sharp in right field, as this one's in the dirt against Booth. And in game number 1, one of the things I said was Fico did a great job going opposite field. Normally, he's a pole hitter. Right now, he's over at first base, but for Darius, if he can pull something over the head of Noah Patterson, well, that's how Darius ended up with an inside-the-park home run against Willamina. As this one, chopper to Luke Roth, high chopper. He's going to race to third, and he's going to get the lead runner, Graydon Kerr. It'll go as a 5 unassisted and get the leadoff runner, but still 2 on for the Tigers. But now there's 1 out for freshman catcher Caden Heineman. There's not enough good things to say about the play of the freshman older brother Lucas on deck, who recently has been shown why Coach Childress made him a DH. This one hit hard to Luke Roth and past Luke Roth. Fico is going to round third. Here's the throw from Roth to Booth. It's not in time. The throw to get Darius at third is in time. So there's 2 outs on the single from Caden Heineman now. But the Tigers get their first run of the game, scoring Fico Ramos. And Darius is going to be caught on the base paths on a 2. Let's see, Combs caught it, so that would be a 2-6 throw out on the play. So Lucas Hyman will come to the plate now. And for Taft, they've got Jose Flores now, courtesy runner at first base for the catcher, as that pitch is low for Lucas for ball 1. And a 1-0 Taft lead here in the top of the second inning with 2 outs. At the bottom of the lineup, Lucas Hyman. He's got a 2-0 count now. That pitch low to Booth behind the plate. Defensively, Evenson at first, Shockley at second, Roth at third, Combs at shortstop, Baker in left, Evenson in center, and Patterson in right. Hyman hits this one to Combs at short. The 2-hopper throws to Shockley at second for the force out and gets the final out, 6-4. Tigers score 1 run. They do it on 3 hits, and they leave 1 runner on the base paths as we go into the bottom of the second. It's Taft 1, Clatskanie 0, back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the second with Taft on top, 1-0. They scored first in the first game. They've scored first here in the second game. In the softball game, it's either 3-0 or 3-1 in favor of the number 1 ranked Clatskanie Tigers, taking on your number 4 ranked Lady Tigers. Defensively for Taft, Bleiz Kimbrough on the mound, throwing to Caden Heineman, with Eli DeMello at first base, Jordan Hall at second base, Fico Ramos third, Cody Knott at shortstop, Darius Smith in left, Tyee Fisher in center field, and Trenton Fisher in right field. So the hard-hitting catcher, Cade Warren, who is the pitcher here in game number 2, come to the plate. His first at-bat against Bleiz, fouls that one back into the cage, strike 1. On deck is Foster Evenson, the center fielder, picked that one up. Today represents Senior Day for Clatskanie. They won't have a home game after this one, is my understanding. That one's fouled, strike 2. As on Sunday, the coaches will meet together for district meetings. They will discuss all league teams as far as who gets selected first team, second team. Of course, got to make first team if you want to have a chance at the all-state list. This one hit to Fico at third. Does a good job tracking it. Here's the throw to Eli, who stretches, makes the catch for out number 1, but Fico did a great job that time. That one was a high chopper, and then the second time it hit, its trajectory lowered, and he tracked that ball well with the glove to make the catch, and then did a good job of then using a strong throw to Eli at first base for the first out. Foster Evenson at the plate now. Looks at ball number 1 from Bleiz. The 1-0 misses outside. Ball 2 now. Bleiz on the season with a minuscule ERA, just over 1. This one fouled back into the cage. 2-1 count now. And if you want to talk about Tigers that have a chance at first team all league, I'd say Bleiz, Cody, Tyee, and Eli. 4 great chances at it. That one fouled out of play along the right field side. 1-2 now. So 1 down here in the bottom of the second. Kimbrough working efficiently on the hill. This one hit to Fico at third, makes the play along the foul line, throws to Eli, who does another great stretch play at first base for the second out. Ramos to DeMello. As mentioned in the dugout, teasing the boys in between the two as Fico, he's got the great eyebrows. Eli's got the long hair going. They'd like to tease me about the hair and the tank tops, but hey, guess what? Baseball players are superstitious. If it works, you keep going with it. Dawson Evenson looks at the ball as Ramos and DeMello making good plays here so far in this inning for their pitcher, Kimbrough. 1-0 gets Evenson swinging on the pitch outside. 1-1 count now. As Taft and Clatskanie, they played a few times prior to this. Taft came up to Clatskanie last season in a non-league matchup, and they saw each other in the first round of the playoffs. This one's got a chance at the parking lot, and somebody said it sounded like it hit a Chevy, so we'll go with that. That's why I always park as far away as possible. But Cody, he put one over by the wood chopping section earlier. That one's low to Evenson in the turf for the ball. So 2-2 count now to Dawson Evenson, who had 2 hits in game number 1. He had 2 of the 5 hits for Coach Tompkins. 10-2 Taft win. Bleiz doesn't like the first call, likes the second. Here's the pitch, and it's hit high into center field as Trent Fisher, though, he's going to be the one to come forward and take it as Tyee saw Cousin Trenton put on the afterburners, and we watched Little Fish make the catch for out number 3 as Clatskanie, no runs, no hits, no errors as we come back to the top of the 3rd here, coming up in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back here on AM 1400 KBCH for Trenton Fisher. The leadoff man takes a strike from Cade Warren. 0-1 count. As first time he saw him back in the first, he took a 5-pitch walk. That one misses for a ball. Taft got their first run back there in the top of the second. They now lead by a score of 1-0. Warren works the curveball against Trenton, who swings through it for strike 2. So 2-2 count. That one misses inside. Full count. 2-2 count. That one's in the turf. It's full count now on this pitch. So Eli goes and scoops that one up. And doing a good job scooping throws, making sure they don't end up in the dirt. As Trenton, he hits this one hard and just foul. I don't know if there's enough chalk there at the third baseline, because that one hit the line, it looked like. But for Trenton, he's going to try it again. It was less than a foot in front of the bag. If it had hit the bag, there would have been no doubt about it. It would have been a fair ball. But instead, foul signal was applied. It's 3-2. Here's a pitch from Warren. This one's hit to Combs at shortstop. He moves to his left, collects. The throw is not going to be in time. Trenton Fisher with good wheels. I mentioned it a moment ago in the outfield that he had put on the afterburners, and he used some hot wheels, get down to first base. Eli now comes to the plate with Trenton at first base. We'll see if Coach Hilgers puts Trenton in motion at all with Eli at the plate. Eli had a fly out to Noah Patterson, who's not playing as far in as he was against Darius earlier when I pointed it out. Eli shows bunt, drops it down. It's a short one. Booth calls for it. Here's the throw, and he doesn't make it because, again, it's a hot day, and the Tigers base runners, they've got some heat in their shoes because they are flying down the base paths. An infield single for Tyee Fisher on the drag bunt, and that's a routine play for Eli, too. And it's very common for him to do that, whether it's a sacrifice call or not. And Luke Roth, unable to get there quickly enough, as that one only went about 7 feet from the front of the plate. So, Cody Knott, third place in state. He's the third batter at the plate this inning, and he puts this one into left center field. It's dropping. Trenton will score from second. Eli, he's hustling hard. He will score, and Cody Knott's got a 2-run double to make this game 3-0 in favor of the Taft Tigers, with Tyee Fisher coming to the plate. A big 2-run double for Cody puts Taft up in control here early on in the top of the third, 3-0. Mentioned he is one of those players that I think seems like a lock for Taft. Of course, there's going to be some players that miss out when it comes time. That's why a lot of coaches don't want to tell their players until after the playoffs are over. That pitch misses inside to Tyee for a ball. This one's in the dirt. Cody's going to take off for third. Booth throws to Roth. It gets away from Roth, and now Cody's going to be able to score standing up, as Booth thought he had a chance to get Cody, and instead he got burned, and the throwing error on the play gets Cody in safely. It's a 2-0 count for Tyee at the plate, and it's now a 4-0 Taft lead here in the top of the third. That one's outside for a ball. So 4-0 Taft. And strike is called. 2-1. As the board says it's the second inning, it is the third here. It's 3-1 count. Tyee hits this one hard down the third base side and foul. So try it again with Coach Hilgers down that third base side. Coach King along the first base side. Curveball, and it rings Tyee up for the first out of the inning as he gets caught looking for out number one. In steps Bleiz Kimbrough. As Tyee looked back, he couldn't believe it from the plate ump. He rings him up for the first out, first strikeout of game number 2. That pitch is outside for a ball for Bleiz. So Kimbrough, in his first at-bat, had a single and advanced to second on a passed ball, although at that point in time it was Graydon Kerr as a courtesy runner. This one hit to Andre Combs, a short shuffle left, makes the catch. There's the throw to Evenson for out number 2 on the 6-3 3 ground out. Bringing up Fico Ramos. Mentioned Fico, how he's been playing good defense here at third base today. He's got a single and a run scored. He scored the first run of the game back in the second. As we're here, top 3, Taft 4, Clatskanie 0 with 2 outs. Ramos sits on the curveball and fouls it back. In the softball game in the second inning, it looks like it is Clatskanie 5 and Taft either 1 or 0. That pitch in the turf, blocked by Booth, ball 2. Or a 1-1 count, excuse me. Fico step back in. Got a few little birds flying across the field here at Clatskanie High School. That one misses outside. It's been a gorgeous day for baseball, as we've got all the fans perched up. Some really enjoying the sunshine, some more searching out the shade. That one inside for a ball. 3-1 count. With Darius on deck. And Fico pops this one up, and Booth rips the mask off, looks at it, and it's over our press box here today. As I can't see a cloud in the sky right now. The grass field below. Full count with 2 outs for Ramos. The pitch from Warren is in the turf, and Fico tosses the bat towards the dugout as he takes the full count walk and heads on down to first base to give the Tigers another base runner, and this time now Darius Smith will come to the plate. Darius had a fielder's choice 5 unassisted ground out. Tigers had runners on first and second at the time, and the only play for Luke Roth was to get the leadoff runner by tagging third. Check throw to first base as Fico's back. Coach King says, Fico, you need to slide or dive, as he stayed on his feet that time. So Warren throwing from the stretch. Junior. This one's hit hard to Luke Roth, and that one gets by Roth, and that'll be an error for Luke. He needed to set his body in front of it, as instead he tried to almost lay it with the backhand. So runners on first and second now for Caden Heineman. As catcher, he's had a solid day, and one of the things that Coach Hilgers has shown trust in his catcher is to let him catch 2 games on a doubleheader, as we haven't seen Eli go behind the plate in any of these doubleheader situations. That's one's in the turf. Fico almost gets caught out there as they've got some bring the hoses out and water it down. And part of that is in between the gap at shortstop. It's a little bit damper over there, and you wonder if perhaps the player's getting a little sand trap almost. This one is off the top of the fence on the top of the Tiger dugout and foul for Caden. 1-1, 2 down here in the top of the third inning for the freshman catcher. Fico's at second. Darius is at first, so good speed on the bases. This one poked into the glove of, oh no, it's not in the glove, and Darius didn't hustle it out, and he's out at second because he didn't hustle it out. Andre Combs, it was a soft poke, he dove for it, it popped out of the glove, and as a result, everybody would have been safe, and Darius, he saw that, and he let up. And that was the difference there between letting Lucas Heineman come to the plate with the bases loaded and the end of the inning. So we go bottom 3 as the Tigers, they score 3 runs in the third, and they do it off 3 hits. But they leave 1 on the bases as we go bottom 3. We'll be back in 30 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. The Tigers have 6 hits today. They've scored 4 runs, but the base running error is going to be one of those what-if situations for Taft. As Clatskanie so far, just 1 hit in 2 innings of play. As it's Taft 4, Clatskanie 0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 batters for Clatskanie, as Bleiz Kimbrough has seen the minimum of 6 so far. In the 3rd inning of the softball game, it is number 1 Clatskanie 5, number 4 Taft, either 1 or 0. As Bleiz starts off with fastball to Patterson, and he fouls that one along the first base side, 0-1. As the southpaw Kimbrough thrown to the right-hander, just one lefty in the lineup in Dawson Evenson for Clatskanie. As this one is foul tipped, and then it sounded like it went off the catcher's mask of Caden there. 0-2. So Bleiz, efficient action. Eli is out to talk with him real quick. As not sure what the time there is for. If it was just hitting a new baseball for Bleiz. I don't see him holding anything like that, so it doesn't appear that Bleiz is injured. So the 0-2 from Kimbrough to Patterson, a big cut, and he got a piece of it, so he stays alive. Bottom of the 3rd. Taft won game 1, 17-0. They won the 2nd game earlier today, 10-2. And they're up 4-0 here in game number 3. Curveball misses outside from Kimbrough for a ball. And for Bleiz with an 0-2 count. Not a bad junk pitch to miss. This Tigers defense got Heineman behind the plate, DeMello at first, Hall at second. Here's the 1-2, high pitch, check swing, and he lays off it. 2-2. With Fico at third, Cody at short, Darius in left, Tyee in center, and Trenton in right field. Trenton does have a bit of a push on. This one chopped down third base side and foul out of play. As Trenton's about 75 feet, I would say, from the right field foul line. Whereas Darius feels like he's more like 65 to or so. So not as sharp. Of course, Tigers have the southpaw on the hill, and he gets him swinging the high heat. His 2nd strikeout of the game, 1st of the inning for Bleiz Kimbrough. Will bring up Chase Baker now, the left fielder. On deck is the 2nd baseman, Sam Shockley. So solid work for Bleiz so far. As he gave up, now the coaches may not have scored that as an infield single to Andre Combs' first at-bat of the game. They may have called it an error on Taft. Curveball looked good. It just missed outside, as just missed his mark by a bit there. Has had a good view of it. Again, that is not a bad spot to miss at all, as that one is in the back of the fence. As Coach Hill just comes all the way down to speak with the umpire about it. As for the plate ump, he's got a hat on with the old school catcher's mask, but he's not protected there on the dome. A bunt shown by Baker with 1-0 count. It's now a 2-0 count. I don't think he was serious about that. I think that was just more of a game you play with the pitcher. So 2-0. Chopper foul down first base side as Eli chases after it. It's foul from the start. Heads back to the hill. Southpaw settles in as wind is coming in from center field towards the right field. That pitch is high. So a 3-1 count now for Chase Baker. There's a pitch from Bleiz, and it's hit up the middle. Jordan Hall at second base gets to it. The throw to Eli in time. Good play by Jordan Hall at second to come forward as that one not hit as hard as a few others have been today. As second baseman, you always got to cover quick ground while you have the shortest throw. Sometimes it can take the longest to get to you. So the number 9 batter, Sam Shockley, will come to the plate. Shockley, a drew a walk in his first at-bat in game earlier today. Starts off with a big strike there, swinging 0-1. And then on deck is Andre Combs. So after Andre had a bit of a tumble in his first at-bat, Shockley hits this one into center field. Tyee's on the move. It's over his head. It's off the fence. Shockley's got 2. As that is the second hard-hit ball of the day by a Clatskanie Tiger out to left center field, as the number 9 batter, Sam Shockley, is producing today for Clatskanie, as he's got a 2-out double for Andre Combs now at the plate. And if there's any question about whether Bleiz had given up a hit, there's no doubt about it after that one. Solid hit by Shockley. This one popped up high by Combs, out of play. Strike 1. As you can hear that one hit behind us here inside the Clatskanie press box and players' locker room. It's similar to the Tiger Lounge, just not as nice. As Combs swings through, strike 2. Of course, Tigers, there are minor league teams that I don't think have as nice facilities as Taft does at the pit. So 0-2 count now for Bleiz. That one's in the turf. Shockley from second heads down to third. No throw from Caden. As that pitch is low, it'll be a passed ball on the play. So 1-2 count for Combs. As he's swinging, as Caden gets it, throws to Eli at first for the final out. So a strikeout, throw down to first to end it. As Clatskanie, one big hit from Sam Shockley. He gets as far as third base, but he's unable to score. As we go into the 4th inning, it's Taft 4, Clatskanie 0, back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. You're listening to AM 1400 KBCH here as the Taft Tigers lead the Clatskanie Tigers at Clatskanie High School in the 4th inning. 4-0. They won game number 1 by a score of 10-2. In the first game at Taft High School, they won that one 17-0. It was SAT day for Clatskanie. Curveball, Lucas stays back, swung on, hit to Roth at third base, and he makes the play. The throw, though, is going to be I couldn't see in the shade whether that was a bad throw or a bad catch at first base. It's going to be an error on the play, as that one got by Evenson at first, as it puts Lucas on at first. As I'm going to call it a throwing error, as Evenson didn't look like he moved much, and that tends to suggest he didn't have a chance. So Lucas will take the lead with Sr Tyee Fisher on at the plate. Nice check throw as he's back in time safe. 4-0 lead. Warren throwing from the stretch here. There's Taft. Wants to just keep piling it on, similar to the way that the Lady Tigers, or Clatskanie, has in the softball game. This one is bunted, and it's going to be fouled. They're going to say touched him in the box. So, Booth holds up the bat for Trenton, and Eli holds up the catcher's mask for Booth. And we'll try this all over again, though, this time with an 0-1 count after the foul from Trenton. So Lucas heads back to first base. Warren from the stretch. Pitch is low inside. It gets away from Booth, and now Heineman takes off. Here's the throw from Booth to Combs. It gets past Shockley into the outfield, and Evenson comes quickly in from center field. Foster with the relay throw, and Heineman didn't get up quickly enough in time or track that one down to see where it was. He could have headed off for third, and I thought he would have been safe on the play, but it's a 1-1 count now for Trenton Fisher at the plate, and a runner in scoring position now with nobody out. Throw from Warren, swung on, and curveball gets Trenton to miss. Nice good pitch outside by Warren. Softball games goes to the fourth inning. Still looks like 5-1 or 5-0. Can't really see Taft score. As curveball, he got a piece of it. Foul to Coach Hilgers on the third base side. We'll try it once again here on a beautiful Friday afternoon. It's part of this Western Oregon heat wave that we've been having. As you can see, the fans at the start of the game get some burn spots as Warren backs off and doesn't throw to second, but he lets Lucas know he's thinking about him. 1-2 count for Trenton at the plate. Righty versus righty from the stretch. Warren's pitch misses outside, and it's now ball 2. Taft in game 1, they scored a run in the top of the first. Clatskanie was able to tie it up in the second. And the Tigers would take advantage. The Clatskanie Tigers would take advantage again in the third to take a 2-1 lead. But since that point in time, the Tigers have scored 13 runs as this one gets away from Booth at the plate. Wild pitch. As that will send Lucas now down to third base. So Lucas has been able to move 180 feet thanks to the help of Clatskanie. As this one hit up the middle, and it's off the left ankle of Cade Warren, and that will score Lucas Heineman from first. That will just go down as an infield single as Warren. Nothing he can really do about that as got the glove down. It went right underneath the glove and then off the back of his left ankle. It kicked over to Luke Roth, and that just wasn't enough to help him out at that point in time. It had gone too far. A little bit of skee ball, if you will, with the way it's bouncing all over the place. That one, check throw to first, not in time as he gets the jersey dirty. And they're going to try it once more. He says, Trenton, is your jersey dirty or not? Let's make sure it is. Dust the dirt off once again here. It's Taft 5, Clatskanie 0, and as Eli sits back and fouls that one off. So we'll try it again. 0-1 count for the junior DeMello. He went 7 innings in the first game. Gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, only had 5 hits allowed as the pitcher. And then he did quite the number in the batter's box as Jose Flores comes running in from the outfield, having chased that last fly ball down. As he was the mystery courtesy runner in game number 1 for Taft. Breaking pitch misses high and away for Warren. 1-1 count. Warren from the stretch, throwing it to Jack Booth behind the plate. Dawson Evenson at first, Sam Shockley at second. Check throw back to first, Dawson. And just throw it back to Warren on the mound. Luke Roth at third, Andre Combs at shortstop, Chase Baker in left field, Foster Evenson in center field, and Noah Patterson in right here. Top 4. This one's poked into left center field, and it's going to get in front of Chase Baker. as Trenton will get to second base on a clean single for Eli DeMello. As he's got back-to-back singles here in game number 2. He's now 2 for 3 in this one, and he had 3 singles and a walk. He went 3 for 4 in the first game, so he's 5 for 8 today with 5 singles in 2 games, and it brings Cody Knott to the plate. I mentioned Cody got hold of one. He hit it foul, though. He did have a big double earlier today in this second game, as he would then get a stolen base of third, and then he would come around to score on a throwing error. So 1-0 count to Cody. Got Trenton at second, Eli at first. Time is called as Cade Warren and Jack Booth talk things over. Cody speaks with Coach Hilgers and Tyee real quickly. Just 3 seniors for the Taft Tigers. And Bleiz Kimbrough, Cody Knott, and Tyee Fisher. I should say Cody Knott, Tyee Fisher, and Bleiz Kimbrough, because that is their batting order, 3, 4, 5. With nobody out, top 4, leading 5-0. That's Cody. Oh, he just got a piece of that one. Was underneath of it. Wanted to see a little bit more level swing, and perhaps that one's going opposite field. As Noah Patterson, we mentioned it, not playing in so much now in right field. Still not deep depth. Of course, at the high school level, not as many kids have that opposite field power. That one is inside and over the head of Cody. So 2-1 count. It was just like yesterday sometimes that older brother Cade was a senior and Cody was the freshman, or cousin Cade. It's been a familial affair for many Tigers, as some of them got made the all-state list. Both Zacharias brothers did it. As this one in the turf, and Cody takes the 5-pitch walk and loads the bases now. So Trenton's at third, Eli's at second, Cody's at first for Tyee Fisher. Tell me if you've heard this story before. He's done it twice this year with the Grand Slam. The key is don't think about it. Everyone, though, has got their phones ready right now because they know he's capable, as it's 3-0-2 to left field. A pitch from Warren. Time is called by Tyee. And I said ain't nobody was prouder than that first Grand Slam than Mama. Mama got him a tattoo. And he's got scripture there on the right forearm as a result of that one. He takes the Grand Slam cut and misses. So that's the thing. Just focus on a bases clearing shot, and that's how you hit it, as we're all having fun with it right now here. 5-0 lead. For Tigers, it is serious play, though. They want to score runs in this situation. As he hits it in the gap, can Shockley get there? He does. Here's the throw, and Tyee, he was unable to beat the throw out, but it scores cousin Trenton on the play. So a sac grounder, 4-3, gets the first out of the inning. Eli heads to third, Cody to second. As Tyee doesn't get the grand slam, but he does pick up an RBI. And for the Tigers, it's a necessary component to ensuring they win this game today. So now 6-0. Bleiz swats at it, foul down the third base side as Coach Hilgers gets there before Luke Roth can. So Bleiz at the plate with runners at second and third, 2 in scoring position. As 1 out. Bleiz. He's not going to get the next pitch. It's going to be a check throw to try and get Cody. Shockley applies the tag. It's not in time. Bleiz has a single and a ground out here in game number 2. Patterson's in a little bit more in right field now. This one's in the turf. As Eli, when he pitched in game number 1, he got the courtesy runner. As on his first time at the plate, it happened right away. The second time, Coach Hilgers let him get a stolen base. This pitch misses outside. And with Eli in the field. He doesn't get any special treatment here in game number 2. 2-1 count for just Bleiz Kimbrough. No nicknames for the senior southpaw. And that's his game due to talking for him. As goes after the curveball, though, out in front. Now 2-2 count. As he missed on the big cut. So 2-2, 1 down, top of the 4th. Taft 6, Clatskanie 0. Curveball misses inside and high. Full count again. As Cade Warren, he lost Trenton earlier this inning with a full count. He's got a second chance at it, and this one hit hard to Andre Combs. Hits the grass, and it slows down. The throw to first is in time. Caught by Dawson Evenson on a 6-3 ground out. And it's another sacrifice for Taft as it scores Eli DeMello. 2 runs across here in the 4th inning for Taft. They now lead 7-0, or 3 runs across this inning. As Fico, first pitch swinging, puts it into center field to score Cody. So just like that, the Tigers keep their streak of hitting going as they've got 3 consecutive RBIs, and that's the first one on the base hit there. Both Tyee and Bleiz grounded out. Fico, solid single, scores Cody. 4 runs have come across now. Darius to the plate, first pitch swinging foul. It's an 8-0 Taft lead now. The boys have been in control much the way that Clatskanie softball appears to be in control of their game. 5-1 in the 4th of the softball game. Darius pokes this one into center field as Fico gets to second and stays at second as Foster Evenson came in charging from center field, and would have been a relatively short throw from shallow center field to third base had had Fico tried to take third. So back-to-back singles from Darius and Fico brings the catcher, Caden Heineman, to the plate. They had to take off the catcher's equipment. He's the 8th Taft Tiger to the plate this inning, or the 9th, excuse me. As Lucas led the inning off, he reached on an error. This one, soft hit to Combs. Here's the throw, and the throw is good. A good dig from Dawson Evenson at first base to get the 6-3 ground out to end the inning as Taft scores 4 runs here in the 4th to go up by a score of 8-0, and they do it on 4 hits. They leave 1 on the base path. They leave 2 on the base pass, and we'll be back in 60 seconds with the bottom of the 4th on your Taft Tigers radio network. It's the bottom of the 4th here on AM 1400 KBCH, where the 9th-ranked Taft Tigers baseball team lead the Clatskanie Tigers here on the road 8-0 in the bottom of the 4th. We've been tracking the softball top 4 doubleheader between the undefeated Clatskanie Tigers. Mentioned they haven't lost since January 21st. That was a 1-point loss on the road at Salem Academy in basketball. Salem Academy would end up with the 3rd best team in the state last season. As first pitch swinging to Jack Booth for a foul. As Bleiz Kimbrough continues on the mound. As softball team, Clatskanie 18-0 against the Lady Tigers. And for Taft, that one hits Booth, so he's going to head on down to first base. Bleiz just missed on that one. But for the Lady Tigers, being top 4 means that they would be able to host 2 games in the first round. Of course, you got to win that first round game to host a second round, but that's the benefit of being ranked top 4. So, Luke Roth with the runner on is going to show bunt. It's going to be a check throw back to first base. Not in time to get Jack Booth. But Luke Roth will step into the plate, and he is showing bunt. Fico hasn't come forward too much yet. Roth backs off. He takes a whack at it, pops it up, foul territory, and it's caught in foul territory along the first base side by Eli DeMello. Good play in the shade there. One down with Booth still on at first base, as that one didn't allow him any opportunity to advance. Cade Warren, we know he's got power in his bat after the Game 1 double, as Tyee tried to dive in left center for it, and it went off his glove and off the fence. This one's popped into right into no man's land. Trenton Fisher unable to get to it in time. Here's the quick throw to second. But for Cade Warren, he gets the Texas Leaguer going towards right field, and it drops in, as that's his second hit of the day for the pitcher. Bringing up the center fielder now, Foster Evenson. So runners on first and second with 1 out, bottom 4. And this one's hit hard into left field. Darius is going to move. It's up, and a great catch by Darius as he's moving towards the left field fence. That's why he's got the speed out there, as that's the second great catch. You also have the sun in your face out there. So great play by Zero to get the second out of the inning and force the runners back to first and second for the first baseman, left-hander Dawson Evenson, hard down the right field line. It's fair. This is going to score Booth. As he rounds third, the relay throw is cut off, and Dawson Ashley, he's got a 1-run double, or Dawson Evenson, excuse me. I just confused him with the Dayton All-State outfielder from 4 years ago. So 1 RBI double for Dawson Evenson, his 3rd hit of the day. That one scores Jackson Booth, his first run here of the game. And now to the plate, Noah Patterson, the right fielder. 8-1 ball game. As Bleiz comes back inside, and Patterson again, this time he got a piece of it and fouls it out, 0-2. So Cade Warren is over at third base, no courtesy runner, as only saw 10 on the roster for Coach Tompkins. Injuries have been a problem for him. As this one outside, but Patterson chases it. Wanted to lay off that, even though you got an 0-2 count. You got to keep a good eye instead. It remains an 0-2 count. So Bleiz got a lot of options here to use with Patterson, with 2 outs and 2 strikes. See if he uses the hook. He goes fastball. It's hit hard, and Cody Knott, he got ready like he was going to jump, but he didn't even have to leave his feet for that one. Hit right at him on the line shot. For Clatskanie, they get 1 run, and they do it on 2 hits. They leave 2 on the bases, but they get their first run of game number 2. It's Taft 8, Clatskanie 1. We've got top 5 when we return in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back to the top of the fifth as Tigers, Clatskanie Tigers, got their first run of game number 2 here, following the Dawson-Evenson double. As they've got their first run, but they still need 7 more as Taft leads by a score of 8-1 here in the top of the fifth. And we do have a pitching substitution now. It will be Foster Evenson in replace of Cade Warren, who goes 4 innings of work today. He gives up 8 runs on 10 hits. As Tigers, they're able to get some damage done, and they're looking now against Foster Evenson, the center fielder. So the way the substitution works is that Warren at the pitcher now moves over to third base. The third baseman Roth moves to center field, and the center fielder Foster Evenson comes forward to pitch to Lucas Hyman, where he starts off with a ball inside. Lucas led off last inning. He got on via an error from Luke Roth at third. The pitch is outside, ball 2. In the Tigers bullpen, Tyee Fisher is warming up, throwing with Graydon Kerr. So we imagine it's Tyee that'll come in relief and not Graydon. As Foster fires a strike across, number 1 to Lucas. As Lucas had a good game in the first one. He's 0 for 2 today in game number 2, but he's 3 for 4 in game number 1. Fouls that one into the cage. 2-2 count now for the junior Hyman with the junior Trenton Fisher. A lot of players coming back for Coach Hilgers, as it was 3 seniors last year, 3 first-team All-State seniors, Jack Stemple, Caleb King, and Josh Salisbury. As Lucas Hyman hits this one to Luke Roth in center field. He makes a quick step forward, a step to his right for out number 1 here in the top of the fifth. Bringing up the leadoff man now, Trenton Fisher. Lucas heads back to the dugout as Trenton comes to the plate, where he is 2 for 2 here in game number 2 with a walk, a stolen base, and 2 runs scored. His first time looking at Foster Evenson, whose strike comes across, number 1 for the senior center fielder. As look across in the 5th inning, it appears now 6-1 score in favor of Clatskanie. I mentioned that's a number 1, number 4 showdown over there. For the Lady Tigers, the hope is even if they can't come away with an upset out of either of the 2 games, that their ranking stays high. Curveball just misses, as Trent doesn't have a very big strike zone. If that was Tyee, he probably would have got him looking there. As I said, for the Lady Tigers, they'd love to finish ranked 4th or higher in the state. As last year, in the second round, they went on the road to eventual state champion, the Dayton Pirates, as when they came into this league, 2-2 count at the plate for Trenton Fisher. It was Rainier who had the history behind them. This one hit hard and off the football stadium and then off the fence, protecting the fans. So in that case, it hit in the wrong spot, but fortunately everyone is okay. Nice spot for the fans to stay in the shade on this hot day. 2-2 count as Trenton lays off it, and he lays off strike number 3 as he gets called on the outside corner. So both he and Tyee are the only 2 to be rung up looking here. So Eli comes to the plate for the second time. As Lady Tigers know that they play tough games, it only helps them for the playoffs, and playoffs are a different kind of pressure. Eli pops this one up. Cade Warren at third base near the line. Comes back in the field of play as it's tracking back, and he makes the catch in fair territory for the pop-up to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go bottom 5, Taft 8, Clatskanie 1. They're back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Eric Goss for AM 1400 KBCH in the bottom of the fifth. Taft 8, Clatskanie 1 here in game number 2. Taft won the first one 10-2. As Bleiz Kimbrough continues on the mound here into inning number 5. As he misses, and that's his second hit batter of the day. It's the number 8 batter, Chase Baker. As he plunked Jack Booth, he came around to score, and he did it leading off last inning in the 4th. So, not what Bleiz wants to see. But that sends Sam Shockley to the plate. And Shockley had a big double his last at-bat. Takes a big cut and fouls it back 0-1. Taft mentioned times today about Sunday on Mother's Day is the league meeting. All the coaches get together. This one hit into the gap and shallow center field. Shockley's got his second consecutive hit. This time it's a single. 2 on, nobody down for Clatskanie here in the bottom of the 5th. That's now the top of the lineup with Andre Combs. So Combs with I gave him an infield single on the play and then a strikeout. As that pitch, high, ball 1. I mentioned that we saw Tyee warming up. He's still out in center field. As Darius is in left, Trenton is in right. That one misses high. Coach Hilgers is going to come out here. And Tyee's walking forward. I think he's just getting perhaps ready, but we'll see if Hilgers makes the call. Defensively right now, Caden Heineman's behind the plate. Eli DeMello is at first base with Jordan Hall at second. Fico Ramos at third, Cody Knott at shortstop, and Bleiz will continue on the mound. So a 2-0 count to Andre Combs, the right-handed hitter, going up against the lefty Bleiz Kimbrough. As the way it'll work is, barring any upsets by Willamina or Catlin Gable today over Warrenton and Rainier, Rainier will end up as the number 1 place team in league, owning the tiebreaker over Warrenton. And so they would get the number 1 spot, and then Warrenton would be the number 2 team, and then Taft would have to play for the number 3 spot. That one misses, ball 3 inside to Combs. So the way it'll work is number 6 team will be left out of action. The number 5 team will play at number 4, called strike to Combs at the plate, 3-1 count, and then the winner of 5 at 4 would play at number 3 for the 3rd place game. Taft is no sure thing, as that one again called strike, as Bleiz low in the zone but not too low against Combs, as he's worked himself back to a full count. And out here would be nice for Taft with nobody out, bottom 5, 2 on, full count. This one popped up to right field. It's shallow right field. Trenton is going to get there in time, and the runners are going to get back to the bases in time before he's got a chance to throw to either first or second to try and double somebody up. So the pop-up does the same thing. It keeps everybody frozen where they are for the catcher, Jack Booth now. As Jack started game 1 at shortstop, game 2 he's come in to catch, and following the pitching change from Cade Warren from pitcher to third base, Booth has stayed on. He's got a ground out and a hit by pitch. That's a swinging strike high. That's Bleiz Kimbrough. Bottom of the 5th, Taft leading 8-1. As Bleiz working from the stretch, Luke Roth on deck. He's 0 for 2 in game 2. As curveball gets away from Caden as the runners were in motion. As Shockley now moves up to second, Baker to third. And it's a 1-1 count for Jack Booth at the plate. So good job by Clatskanie putting it in motion. Double play now. Not a possibility unless somebody on the bases goofs up. 1-1 from Bleiz, who continues to throw from the stretch here with runners in scoring position. Sometimes known guys can only just get a big lead. A pitcher will throw from the windup wherever you're most comfortable. 2-1 count for Booth at the plate against the lefty Kimbrough. As that fastball misses outside, 3-1 count for Bleiz. There is room at first base, and then on deck would be Luke Roth. And don't want to get too much further down that list. We've seen the power of Cade Warren today. As fastball across for strike one. Good pitch from Bleiz. He's keeping his fastball low in the zone, and that's a good spot for it, as it usually leads to grounders. Grounder right here might score. Baker, as this one fouled back out of play by Booth, works his hands at it. In the softball game in the 5th inning, it still appears to be Taft 1, Clatskanie 6. In game number 1, they narrowed it 2-1 at one point, and then Clatskanie exploded. This one inside, it hits Booth, and he's going to go down. That one might have been off either the thigh or the knee. It was close, but back-to-back hit by pitches for Jackson Booth. And you hate to see it on the full count there. Not that it make a difference, but for Bleiz, that's going to be the last pitch for Bleiz Kimbrough today. Tyee Fisher's going to come in. I think Eli's going to head out to center field. So we'll take a 60-second break for the pitching change here. Taft 8, Clatskanie 1 with the bases full and 1 out for Tyee Fisher coming to the hill in replacement of Bleiz Kimbrough back in 60 on the Tigers Radio Network. Well, starting off baseball season, his new nickname was the Big Unit. Well, Randy Johnson at 6 feet 11 inches was quite the intimidating presence on the mound. The Tigers, Tyee Fisher, all 6 feet 6, so the senior is going to step on the bump. With Bleiz Kimbrough going back to first base, Tyee's throwing to Caden Hindman, who's been working as the backstop all season long. Jordan Hall remains at second base, along with Fico at third, Cody at short, Darius in left. Eli will move out to center field to replace Tyee, and Trenton Fisher is out in right field. Situation at the plate, 8-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. There is 1 out. The bases are full. Jack Booth is at first base. Sam Shockley's at second base, and Chase Baker is on at third base. The inning led off with a hit by pitch against Chase Baker, a single from Shockley. A pop-up by the leadoff man Andre Combs was the first out, and then Jack Booth with full count got a hit by pitch, and Coach Childers decided it was time to bring in Tyee Fisher at that point in time. So Luke Roth, who's 0 for 2 in game number 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up to the Bleiz back in the 4th inning, will come to the plate. In his first game today, Luke went 1 for 3 at the plate with a line out and reached on error and then a single into left field. So he is 1 for 5 cumulatively today, but it's a bases loaded situation. As our plate ump, Jeff Hickman, will put the mask back on. Our field ump, Dave Crane, both of the Lower Columbia Umpires Association. Always a big thank you to everyone who helps put these games on, from the athletic directors, the ticket takers, the hot dog makers. That one is low in the turf for ball 1 to Raw. As it's a grass field with dirt cutouts except at home plate where you've got a turf circle. As fastball high misses for Tyee for 2-0 count. So 8-1, bottom 5. It's been a very hot day as shade's starting to set over part of the stands here. It's called strike one. Luke Roth at the plate didn't seem to like that one as he's talking to the official about its placement. So 2-1, 1 down. Tyee thrown from the windup with the bases full. As this one's hit to Jordan at second, he's got a chance to turn it. Flips to Cody. Here's the relay throw. Is it in time? It is in time. The 4-6-3 double play ends the inning for the Taft Tigers. Good job by Jordan to flip to Cody, and then the relay throw to Bleiz in time. Tyee Fisher comes in relief of Bleiz and gets the job done and holds it at an 8-1 lead for the Tigers as we work to the top of the sixth. Taft 8, Clatskanie 1, back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. We're here in the top of the sixth inning with Taft leading Clatskanie by a score of 8-1. Looking over at that softball game in the sixth inning, it is still Clatskanie 6, Taft 1. As Taft baseball has been in control, it seems like the same way that Clatskanie softball has been in control. The difference is that Clatskanie baseball is the number 4 team in the state, and Taft, they were ranked number 1 last year, but not ranked number 1 this year. They're ranked number 9, right? They're only a top 10 baseball team after losing 3 first-team All-State players last year. Cody Knott, he's going to come to the plate here in the top of the sixth. And for Cody, he's certainly going to have something to say about that All-State list by season's end as he looks at a ball on the outside corner, low and away. From relief pitcher Foster Evenson, working into his second inning now. As Bleiz Kimbrough was pulled in relief there after going 4 2/3. As pitch outside, ball 2. As Foster has got the younger brother over at first base, Dawson. This one, chopper from Cody and foul. As looked like he was chopping wood with that swing, as you don't want to be on top of it. Tyee, I think, is teasing him a little bit there with the wood chopping swing. As you do have some, as we call them, the lumberjack games over there. Look like throw tomahawks, some of the wood and trees that have been set aside. If it's not for lumberjack games, then apparently I'm just grown up in the Northwest all my life. 2-1 count, 8-1 game for Cody as he lays off ball 3, low and away. Shade moving across the field from first base across to second as Cody takes that one on the back. He's a tough kid. He'll run on down to first base. If we haven't said it, he's going to be wrestling at Corbin University in the first year of their program. As he's very excited about that. Tyee will step to the plate now, the new pitcher for the Tigers. The senior was all-state in football at 2 positions. This one hit into the gap at short. Will Combs get there? He does. Here's the throw to first, and it's going to take Evenson off the bag as he would have had to have made that throw directly on line in order to have a chance to get Tyee, who busts it out for an infield single. And there's now 2 on for the Tigers, and it's the third senior, the third amigo, Bleiz Kimbrough, as he looks to get on or bring one home. Nobody out in the top of the sixth. As this one's low, good block by Booth to use the glove. Keeps the runners right where they are. Coach Olgers in the box at first, or at third. Coach King in the box at first. On deck, Fico Ramos, 1-0 for Kimbrough as Evenson throws from the stretch. Cody's going to steal third base. He's in safely, and Tyee will take third on the throw. So 2 stolen bases for the Tigers on the play, and it's now a 2-0 count for Bleiz at the plate. Taking the double play situation out. Pitch is high, ball 3. As it was down the middle, but the location was high. Evenson working from the stretch. The 3-0, down the tube, strike 1 against Bleiz. As Coach Olgers tells him it's got to be you. It's either yours or wait for it again. Don't go after anything dirty now. As this one is low, and it's going to be in the air as Combs steals it away from Shockley. Shockley was playing close to shortstop, though, so I don't know if it's appropriate for me to say that Shockley had that one stolen away, as he looked like he was trying to steal that away from Andre. So 1 out now. On the line to Andre Combs, L6. So Tyee and Cody each got back in time. Strike called. Fico looking at the plate. So 1 out, top 6. 8-1 lead for Taft. Evenson from the stretch. This one's in the turf, and Cody is going to hold at third base as Booth throws Evenson at home plate, but Cody is not there to stress a throw, or stress a tag, I should say. Now, Clatskanie, they do have lights set up here at their field, so they are the one school in the league that has lights on their baseball field, and it looks like they also have lights that would work for softball. As he gets Fico swinging through for strike 2. As appear to be a different style of light than the big halogen bulbs that we see up at Taft. Forest Field. This one's in the turf. 2-2 count as Fico heads out of the box. I'll try it once again as he perhaps thought that one was getting away from Booth. Did a good job to block. Top 6. Evenson. This one hit right field and foul. That's working over to the snack shack over there behind the football stadium. As football field is set up behind first base along the right field line, and then as you get out of right field, if somebody just smashed one 400 feet in the right field, you get the softball field outfield. You can see the scoreboard. It still says 6-1. I know it says 1 now for guest for sure. Fico goes low with the pitching wedge and fouls that one back. Remains a 2-2 count. As Tigers, this will be the 7th game they've played against Clatskanie. Boys, they played a football game here and lost. They played 3 basketball games, and they led twice in the 4th quarter against Clatskanie. That one misses outside for a ball. As Clatskanie won the league, the Coastal Range League for basketball, and they won in the first round, which meant they got a chance to go to Coos Bay. They're the only school to send both their boys and their girls teams to Coos Bay. This one inside on Fico, check swing, lays off of it, and he gets the full count walk, heads down to first base. Bases are now loaded for Darius with 1 out. But there is now a double play possibility for Clatskanie. We'll see if they change defensively. Cade Warren at third has his toes on the grass. Dawson Evenson at first is 2 steps in on the grass. And the middle infielders of Shockley and Combs at second and short are playing back. Outfield, right field, Noah Patterson is in shallow. Luke Roth and Chase Baker both playing rather shallow, as they're not worried about anything over their head. That first pitch inside for a ball to Darius. Darius, he had a fielder's choice ground out, reached via an error, and had a single. He's 1 for 3 here in game 2. That one's fouled back into the fence. 1-1 count now for 0. As he went 1 for 1 with a sack, a single, and 2 walks, and a run scored in the first game. And we're going to have a quick timeout here as Jack Booth is going to come out, talk with his catcher, and third and first baseman come out. As wrong, it hasn't been Coach King down first base side. That's Coach Nelson down there. So Coach King perhaps staying inside the mist. I thought it was Coach Nelson. I was teasing him in between the games that his favorite spot was right in front of that mist machine that they've got. It's basically a hose with some cutouts in it, spraying a nice mist into your dugout to keep everyone nice and cool here on a hot day. Darius fouls that one back. 1-2 count with 1 out. Bases loaded here in the top of the 6th inning. Taft trying to break it open here with the swing of the bat from Darius. He's got the speed if he can put it over someone's head in the outfield. This one's in the dirt. 2-2 count now. There's Darius. On the season, he's hitting over 350 accumulatively. That's a great number for a second-year player. As this one gets away, and Cody's going to advance to home plate. The throw is offline. Cody is safe on the wild pitch. It's now a 9-1 lead for the Tigers as Tyee advances to third and Fico goes to second on the play. 9-1 Taft following the wild pitch. It's now a full count for Darius at the plate. And so you can see him loaded up here. And Foster can't hit with this pitch. And it's high. He loads him back up. So Darius heads to first with Fico at second, Tyee at third for the freshman Caden Heineman, who's been swinging a big bat. He talks softly, but he swings a big stick. Jack Booth, the catcher, is going to head out to talk with Foster for a moment here. As Caden is 1 for 3 here in game 2 with an RBI single. In the first game, he was 2 for 4. So Caden is 3 for 7 today with 3 singles and 3 runs batted in. A single here with 1 out, likely scores 2. Good speed on the bases. In fact, I think it just gets faster as you go. As you got a ball inside to Fico. You have Tyee at third, Fico at second, and Darius at first. Tyee wouldn't like me saying that he's the slowest one on the field right now. This one's popped up into left field. Will it be playable as Chase Baker comes sprinting in? And that was a whole lot of ground for Baker to cover to try and get to that. Unable to get there in time. 1-1 count for Heineman on the plate following the foul ball. But it says less about the speed of Tyee at third than it does about the speed of Fico and Darius. As they're both Energizer bunnies. This one's popped up in the infield, and this will be an infield fly rule as Andre Combs makes the catch. But it was an automatic out on the play. 2 down now. Now you can't have an infield fly. But it's the number 9 batter, Lucas Heineman. We mentioned that Caden, younger brother's been playing well at the plate. Lately, Lucas has shined. He's looking for his first hit here in the second game. He went 3 for 4 in the first game. This pitch is inside for a strike from Evenson. So 9-1 Taft, bases full. They have 11 hits so far in game 2. Lucas tries to make it 12. Will it poke through the gap as Combs? He gets to it, but again, it's in no man's land with where these baseballs are ending up, and that is now the 12th hit of the game for the Tigers. It scores Tyee Fisher. It's now Taft 10, Clatskanie 1, and A base hit from Trenton Fisher, in my understanding, ends the game because we've played 5 and it would be 10 runs. And he hits this one hard and foul down the line with Fico at third. So Trenton at the plate trying to close it out here with one swing of the bat. Stevenson from the stretch. This one, chopper up the middle. Will it poke through? As Combs is unable to field it cleanly, everyone advances a base, and they are safe. This is now 11-1 Taft here in the top of the 6th, following another infield single. So we play on, up 11-1. As this one's behind, Darius will stay. So 1-0 count, 11-1 Taft. We'll play a full 6 then. This one's not over, up 10 right now. So 2-0 count, and again, Darius stays. So Cody led this inning off. He's on deck. Eli, the 9th man to the plate for Taft, as they've scored 3 runs here in the top of the 6th. Done it on 3 hits in the inning, so 13 in the game. 13 hits to score 11 runs so far. Eli looking for 14. Here's a chopper to Cade Warren, a high chopper. The throw to first is going to be in time to get the out. The Tigers, they score 3 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2 on the base pass, and they lead 11-1 going into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back here in 60 on the Taft Tigers Radio Network. It's bottom of the 6th on AM 1400 KBCH. I'm Eric Goss. Find podcasts of our games at kbcham.com. As Tigers, for Taft, Tyee Fisher continues on the mound, and he will face the third baseman now, Cade Warren, who will come to the plate for the 3rd time here today, as he is 1 for 2. He had a single to right field. It was Texas Leaguer pop-up that just fell into no man's land down the right field line. Tyee, first pitch is outside for a ball. As Tigers, he scored 3 runs in the top of the 6th and up 10 as they look to get 3 quick outs for Clatskanie. They look to keep this game going by plating at least 1 run. In the 7th inning of the softball game, it is 6-2, so the Lady Tigers are scratching back in that one against the #1 team in the state. Cade Warren hits this one high into left field. Darius and Cody on it, and Cody and Darius have to talk. Darius came sprinting in hard, and I would say Darius should have called Cody off on that in my estimation, as that one will be an error on the play. As Cade Warren and the Clatskanie Tigers, they don't care. They need base runners, and they've got one. Foster Evenson comes to the plate, and the man that's really been doing damage, Dawson Evenson, on deck with nobody out. First pitch outside for a ball. So for Tigers, got to shake that one off. Up 10 here. 3 outs to go in this inning, or 6 outs in the game if they give one up. That one inside for the ball. Tyee thrown from the stretch, the runner on first. Not a big lead for Warren. Gets a secondary lead as a big swing at the plate from Foster Evenson and a miss. So 1-2 count for Tyee Fisher. Looking to close this one out here on the road. And then for the Tigers, it's all playoffs from here on out, league playoffs. Another swing and a miss from Foster Evenson. This time looked like a hard breaking pitch from Tyee. Might have been a slider there from the senior righty. The 2-2. Evenson, it's low as Caden tries to frame it, but that one missed. Full count now for Tyee at the plate. As Dawson Evenson on deck had an RBI double down the right field line his last at-bat. Tyee looking to make the out count here against Foster, and that one's in on the wrist, fouls it back. We'll try it again. As we're coming up close to 7 o'clock on Sunday, we will have Trailblazers basketball for you. The question is, what time does it start? It depends on whether there's a Game 7 between Warriors and Rockets. That pitch misses outside for a ball. So after an error, a full count walk. That's 2 on for Dawson Evenson. So if the Warriors win tonight and there's no Game 7 between the Warriors and Rockets, then the Blazers game will get started early. If Warriors-Rockets go to Game 7, then Blazers-Nuggets will start late. As first pitch strike to Dawson Evenson. Of course, we'll be on air just an hour before our stations for you, bringing you those games. That's a big cut that time by Dawson Evenson. Goes down 0-2. Can't win it in one swing here. Would sure feel good, though, to lift a 3-run home run out. Tyee, though, with an 0-2 count. See if he sneaks something by. Time is called at the plate, so Tyee steps off the rubber on the hill. And it's now a 6-4 game in the softball as the Lady Tigers score 4-6. As Evenson hits this one hard to right field, it's going to drop in front of Trenton. Cade Warren is going to stay at 30, trips over third as gets back. So Dawson Evenson, he's been a hitting machine today. And the bases are now full with no outs for Noah Patterson. Now for the Tigers, potential pitching substitutions. There's Trenton Fisher. I don't know what Eli's final number was. Patterson, a big swing and a miss, strike 1. There's also Cody not available, so there's, I'll call them 2.5 available pitchers. In fact, I think the game is now over as Lady Tigers, it's a 7-inning game, and there's no need for Clatskanie to come. So it looks like Clatskanie wins both games, but in game number 2, the Lady Tigers only fall 6-4, the number 1 team in the state on the road. So Clatskanie finishes off an undefeated regular season unless they have a non-league game coming up next week. A 1-1 as he gets Patterson swinging through strike 2. So 1-2 count for Noah Patterson. For the Lady Tigers, the hope is that they remain ranked number 4 in the state following those 2 games. And he gets him swinging the high heater for out number 1 for Tyee Fisher. Brings up the left fielder, Chase Baker. So 8, 9, and then the top of the order, of course, the man on deck, Sam Shockley. He's got 2 hits, a single and double. For Chase Baker, he's been hit by a pitch. Not quite the same thing. He looks at a strike from Tyee as Coach Tompkins wants to see his left fielder be a hitter in this situation. Of course, for Tyee, he's looking to be the cold-blooded reliever, throwing heat down the pipe, gets him swinging strike 2. Well, with the shade working across the majority of the infield now. Here in the bottom of the 6th, and he gets him going after the high heat a third time. Back-to-back strikeouts for the big unit bring Sam Shockley to the plate with the bases full and 2 outs. If Andre Combs comes to the plate, we'll go to the 7th. If he doesn't, it's game over. Tyee Fisher trying to close it out. Fastball. And he's in a rhythm right now. That's strike 1, outside corner. So Lady Tigers, good showing on the road to only lose 6-4 in that second game, as this one is low inside, misses, ball 1. The reason for it is perhaps one of the only other better pitchers than Emma Coulter this year is the sophomore Shelby Blodgett for Clatskanie. And a lot of games like this, the distance makes a difference. That one misses high, just barely. Shockley doesn't have the biggest strike zone like Tyee does. 2-1 count now. There's a pitch from Fisher, and it's swung on, fouled back into the cage. 2-2 count with 2 down for the Taft Tigers on the road against Clatskanie, looking to complete the sweep against Clatskanie on the season. This time they're trying to do it in a 6-inning game with an out here from Tyee Fisher, the 2-2 count. And the big unit closes out the inning after getting the first 3 on. He says, hey, I just needed the bases full to come through. And then he strikes out the final 3. There's some kind of magical bases loaded thing that he's got going on the season right now as the Taft Tigers win game number 2 in 6 innings by a score of 11-1 against the Clatskanie Tigers, who leave 3 on the bases there as they're unable to get anyone across after getting the first 3 on. We'll take a 2-minute break and tell you more about it coming up on your Taft Tigers Radio Network.